How you make this, Jay?
Welcome back to the locker room. I am Captain Paul. This is Fajardo, sponsored by Groovy J. We will have a link to his music down below in the description. Big shout out for him giving us this instrumental. He creates a lot of great music, and definitely check out his profile when you get a chance. So, apologize, man. It's been a little bit since we made some more videos. Chaotic, but we are going to be getting back to daily uploads. Things are kind of going back into the swing of things, and a great conversation to kind of pick up right here is a pretty big signing, wouldn't you have to say there, Fajardo?
Yes, it is.
So, for y'all that don't know, and now that we'll know now, JT Miller re-ups with the Vancouver Canucks. So, let's get into it. JT Miller agrees to a 7-year, $56 million contract extension with the Canucks. Forward could have become unrestricted free agent after the season. Before getting into the article, were you surprised he re-upped?
I gotta say, I'm not surprised. You know, I knew he was gonna get big money anywhere he went. He had a phenomenal season last season. I think he's finally found a good home. There was a lot of talks coming into the off season about him being moved or possibly going back to the Rangers or going to a couple of teams that needed like a strong center. And I just feel like, why would he change something that's so good for him? You know, like ever since he got there, he's been doing his thing, and his production has just increased every season. So it's one of those things like, why would you mess with that? And especially with the type of money they offered him, I think it's like $8 million per season.
Yeah, it is. It's $8 million per season, and for 7 years.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because his career has always been like a utility player here and there. When he was with the Rangers, third line, fourth line, he had a little dabble on the second line. Didn't cut it at that point in time of his career. Then he got moved, and then finally he found a home in Vancouver, and I am very happy for him because he was always a great guy. Real nice in the community. Did a lot of things, and then even with his teammates, he was one of those really likable guys. The fans, us as fans, as a New York Ranger fan, we love this play, gritty, no holding punches, just straightforward. So yeah, I'm real happy for him.
Well, let's get right into it. JT Miller agreed to a 7-year, $56 million contract extension with the Vancouver Canucks on Friday. It has an annual average of $8 million per season. The 29-year-old forward has one season remaining on a 5-year, $26.25 million contract, $5.25 million per year. He signed with Tampa Bay Lightning on June 26, 2018. He could have become an unrestricted free agent after the season. This is what Miller had to say. Super lucky and fortunate. Super happy. It's been an amazing week for my family. Trying to take it all in, enjoy it. I'm really looking forward to starting a new chapter in Vancouver. Miller said Tuesday he was happy to settle his new contract before the start of the season. Miller had this to say. I think it might free me up to play even more of a consistent level of hockey, to know that there's a commitment there. So I'm really excited to obviously be spending this chapter of my life and my hockey career in Vancouver. And to get it out of the way before camp, just so I can focus and be clear-minded and have a clear head, is exciting. Miller had an NHL career high in goals, 32, assists, 67, and points, 99, power play points, 38, and shots on goal, 206, in 80 games for the Canucks last season. In 3 seasons with the Vancouver Canucks, Miller has 217 points, 74 goals, 143 assists in 202 games. So that's a pretty damn good clip, actually. He was traded to the Canucks by the Lightning on June 22nd, 2019 for goalie Mazek. I apologize, pronunciation is not my strong suit. And a 3rd-round pick in the 2019 NHL draft and a 1st-round pick in the 2020 NHL draft. This is what the general manager, Patrick Alvin, had to say. JT Miller is an impact player in this league, and we are thrilled to have him re-sign with the Canucks long-term. His production last season speaks for itself, and his competitive drive provides a standard that our players can look up to. He will continue to be a key piece of this team for years to come. The Canucks last year finished 5th in division. last season, 5 points behind the Predators for the second wildcard spot. This is what Miller had to say. It's a very easy decision to stay there, especially for a hockey standpoint. We have a very good group of players and a good group of people. I think that when you put those together, we can do some pretty special things. I think we're just scratching the surface with our potential, and I think our expectations are to win a Stanley Cup. We want to be playing in the playoffs and competing for the Stanley Cups. Selected by the New York Rangers in the number 15th pick in the 2011 draft, Miller has 454 points, 169 goals, 285 assists, and 637 points for the Rangers, Lightning, and Canucks, and 44 points, 9 goals, 35 assists, and 74 Stanley Cup playoff games. So let's just get kind of into it, man. Like, I think this is an interesting deal because looking into the statistics, and I'll bring it up right now, JT Miller has had an interesting career. This was obviously his most prolific throughout his whole NHL career. Mm-hmm. But JT Miller was always a guy that was around, 50, 40 points, it seems like?
Well, he dabbled. So when he was with the Rangers, he dabbled like in the 30. He had a really good season. Then he dropped down, in points. Like his last season with the Rangers definitely was his highest. And then he got traded, I believe, right? Yeah,
he got traded to Tampa Bay, and like essentially, his last 3 years with the Rangers and mixed with the Tampa Bay Lightning, he hit 50. He was 56 plus points, 56, 58, and then like if you add them together, 58 points. Mm-hmm. And then 2018, 2019, 75 games played, 13 goals, 34 assists, 47 points. Yeah. It seemed like, and he was 25. He gets, he goes over to Vancouver, right? When he got dealt to Vancouver, something just clicked. Mm-hmm. Because look at the increase from Vancouver. 69 games played, 27 goals, 45 assists for 72 points. That's over a point per game, right?
Yep.
In the shortened season, 2020-21, 53 games played, and I believe that's all those games that season.
Yep.
15 goals, 31 assists for 46 points, just a hair under a point per game. And then this past season, with 80 games played, only missed 2 this whole season. That's the one thing you kind of notice with him. He's a very durable player. Mm-hmm. 32 goals, 67 assists for 99 points. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think he found his spot in Vancouver. I think with the New York Rangers, he was a really good second-line player. Sometimes it just takes players a little bit later in their career to finally figure it out. I mean, with Tampa Bay, I believe he won a cup there. And... he's always a really solid player. So it's kind of nice to see a guy like this. Like, I'm not saying old get his career together, but around 26, really kind of turn that corner and to become a consistent all-star is really good. I will say the back end of this deal will probably be rough, though. I think the last couple of years of this contract, because he'll be 30. Yeah, so he'll be 37 when this contract's up, when this contract extension's up.
Yeah, but if you've noticed, that seems to be the trend right now with a lot of NHL teams. Just these long, heavy contracts. And I don't know, I feel like it's to ward away anybody that wants to trade for him or trade for their players. But at the same time, you're kind of screwing yourself if he's not producing when he gets to that age. You know what I mean? So...
I mean, I think Bruce Boudreau did pretty nice there towards the end of the season, right? Took over. I mean, right now they kind of have a cap situation where they're $2 million over, but that's something we can kind of discuss later on. But like, I think $8 million for the next 4 to 5 years with this contract is more than reasonable. Yeah. I think it's at the very least you can see JT Miller scoring around 70 plus points per season. Just on the consistency within the past few seasons. I think $8 million is a perfect spot. I mean, I think the term isn't great in my eyes, but I think to get to that number of $8 million instead of maybe asking for 9 or even 10 million or something like way too high in my opinion, they probably need to give him years. And I'm happy for a guy like JT Miller kind of getting a little bit more stability. It seems like the Vancouver Canuck fans love him. He's thrived in that environment. And I have to agree with what he said. There is a lot of talent in Vancouver. If they could figure it out with Elias Pettersson, Bo Horvat, like they got that amazing goalie Thatcher Demko. Like, if they could really figure it out there in Vancouver, they could be really good contenders. So, I mean, this isn't just a cash-in. This is a guy who really believes that they can be competitive.
He solidifies what they want, right? What the management wants. He's a heart and soul guy. Even as a young player with the New York Rangers, he wasn't that far behind like Callahan and stuff like that when it came to having his heart on his sleeve and really playing out, showing out every single night that he was on. It's odd, right? Because he's become more durable as he's gotten older. But when he first started, he was a little bit of an injury risk because he is a smaller guy, and when you're small and you're young, sometimes you do things you shouldn't do, and you get a few little nicks and bruises here and there, whatnot. Which is one of the things that I know plagued the Rangers, whether he would be able to sustain his high level throughout an entire season. And obviously, he started playing like that and everything. But then when he had that drop off, that he had 2 really good seasons. I think he was like over 50 points, and then he just dropped down to like 40. It was kind of like they were hoping he'd take the next step, and he didn't. And they had so many options, so many offers, that they took up one of the offers and they let him go. It was really hard for the team, but I believe that's also the year that they made a general consensus
change
on just what they were going to do going into the future, because as a season ticket holder, I was back then. What happened was we all got an email from the management of the actual Rangers saying, hey, and it was right before the trade deadline, hey, within the next couple of weeks, we've decided that we're going to take this team and we're going to go a whole different direction. Please bear with us as we rebuild this team. We're going to lose some players that you love at this time, but it will be for a brighter future. And it was like this long. If I ever find it, I'll definitely get it to you so we can share it with everybody. But it was one of those things that the New York Rangers as an organization made a statement and said, we got to let guys that we love go. It's time to make a change. It's time to rebuild.
Yeah, it's time to rebuild.
And hey, I'm not complaining.
It worked.
They did it the right way.
Yeah, it worked, and it's unfortunate that a guy like JT Miller was a casualty of that, because I don't know if he reaches the heights because sometimes just certain cities, certain teams fit. I mean, when I think of JT Miller now, I think of him as a Canuck. You know what I mean? It just seems like it just works and it's right. Yep. So congratulations to JT Miller and all his friends and family. That's pretty awesome to hear, and hopefully you Canucks fans are excited about this. We'd actually.
I wanna go ahead and rate this and just give it a thumbs up on this whole sign, because that's one of those things. It's like, how do we all feel about it? Does anybody agree with us when we say a thumbs up, or is it a thumbs down, or is it like maybe? You gotta let us know how you feel about this.
I mean, I'm like a 3/4 thumbs up. Because I think, I gotta change it all up. Here we go. I gotta change it up. I'll give it a thumbs up. The only thing I'm leery of is the last couple of years of this deal, when he'll be 36, 37 years old, because hockey, compared to any other sport, you age very quickly if you don't take care of yourself. But to be fair, he's been the prime example of durability. He's always played a lot of games in a season, so hopefully he can keep that up. Yep. So I'll give this a thumbs up. So what do you think down below in the comment section? Do you like this deal? Would you give this thumbs up, thumbs down, or kind of meh? We'd be interested to hear your opinions, and let us know any other type of news you want us to cover. So I'm Captain Paul. That is Fajardo, and we are The Locker Room, and we will see you in the next episode.
Peace.
Peace.